What we have here is a 2001 Chevy Silverado, and the problem with this is that it is not upshifting. Okay, so what we're going to do is first start out by hooking up the scan tool and to the connector, and then we're going to see what we get on the scan tool, what it tells us, what the computer is trying to tell us. So put the key in the ignition. Start it up. What we want is trans data. What I'm going to be paying attention to is I want to get the trouble code on this. Let me see here. Diagnostic trouble code. Information right there. And here we see various problems. Here we see P0135 has the O2 heated performance bank 1 sensor problem, and P0494 evaporative emission vent solenoid control circuit, and we go down, we see a P0502 vehicle speed sensor circuit low input. Last test failed. It has failed history. Now, but this P0502, normally with this type of transmission, and it is a 4L60E in here, the speedometer does not work. So we're going to see if the speedometer is working, and if it's not working, then we're going to go underneath the vehicle and look for something that may be easy to fix. Maybe the connector for the speed sensor is not right, or maybe it's frayed, maybe the wires are broken. But in any event, we're going to see if there's a speedometer problem. Let's put this on a test drive here. Okay, I have this in up on jack stand, so I'm going to look and see if the vehicle speed sensor moves with RPMs. Let's see what happened. Now it's in drive. Okay. Speed sensor is not moving. So, what we're going to do, cut this off. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to look at the scan tool here. And I'm gonna go to transmission data. I'm gonna see if I can see the signal on the scan tool. On the data display, transmission data, and transmission data again. Okay, I see engine torque, throttle positions, engine speed. Here's vehicle speed. This is what I want to look for right here. In the blue. Now, as I put this in gear, I'm going to see if this will move. This mile per hour. Excuse me. Put it in drive. I have it now in drive. Where is the vehicle? There it is. And we're going to look. The RPMs are going up, as you can see right there. The RPMs 940, 1011, and it's in drive. The shift solenoids are on, and the RPMs for the vehicle speed still not moving. I also see the output speed sensor right there. Okay, so we see the vehicle speed is not moving. So now we got to go underneath and do some checking. We know directly where we're going to go now. We are going underneath the car. We're going to check on that vehicle speed sensor and see if it is broken, if the connectors are in, and if that is okay, then we're going to do a test on it to see if it's sending out a signal. If it's sending out a signal, then we're going to walk our way back up to where the signal is supposed to reach the computer. Okay, so we're going to go to that next. Now we're under the vehicle here, and we're looking right now at the transfer case. Towards the front here is the exhaust, going back towards the back. Again, this is the transfer case, and we have towards the back the drive shaft right here, all the way back. Okay, and here is the yoke, and the yoke goes into the output shaft of the transfer case, and this part here is the vehicle speed sensor. And on the vehicle speed sensor here we see a purple wire with a white stripe and a green wire with a black stripe for the vehicle speed sensor. Okay, now what we're going to do is tie into these two wires. You could try to take the vehicle speed sensor out and test it for ohms, but the best way is to tie into both of these two wires so that you can check the connector, because I have had problems with what I'm pointing at now, where a wire was broken into the connector. And by testing with this tool here, you can test the connector and the sensor. Now, it has a pin that punctures the wire. There are some mechanics who say, oh, don't use this, or some people who do electrical wiring, don't use this type of tool. It could damage the wiring. Well, I use it, and others use it, and if you want to use it, you use it. Just know the limitations. Okay, so what we're going to do, we are going to tie into these wires. Just make sure though that when you do tie into them and you disconnect this tool, that you seal the hole with some type of glue. It could be super glue or maybe hot melt glue. You can tape it up and glue the tape, but you have to seal it. Okay, alright, so we're going to go over the purple wire with the white stripe, and then we're going to tie into the green with the black stripe. Now once we do this, we're going to set our meter to hertz. Okay. Give myself some time to get situated here. Alright, now this meter is going to be set to hertz. You see, right, you set the dial to volts, and on this fluke here you set it to volts, and then you press a button to get it to show hertz on the fluke here. And what we're going to do is spin this, or start it up, let the drive shaft spin and the output shaft spin, so that we can see if we are actually receiving a signal. Now according to the scan tool, we weren't getting a signal. According to the speedometer, we're not getting a signal. So we're going to see, is the vehicle speed sensor really bad? And this is how we're going to test it. Start it. Just like put it in drive so the wheels will spin. Yeah. The wheels are spinning. The drive shaft is spinning, and it's connected to this. So we know the signal is. Okay, now we saw that the speedometer was not working. However, the speed sensor was working. So we saw on the fluke meter where it was showing a signal. So that means that the reluctor is good in the drive shaft, and so is the speed sensor. Now here we got a disc, go up to the front, and we're going to take loose the computer. It had a cover on it, so we have to take the computer out because we are going to be testing here next. There is a clip that holds it down. You may need a screwdriver to take that out, and there's another clip you have to pull up, plastic clip. So we're going to do that. Pop it out with the screwdriver. Then we're going to take the plastic clip off that's holding it in. Now I'm trying to do this with one hand while I'm holding the camera, so bear with me here. Now once you get it out, you want to pull it up to where you can see both connectors. You have to get those connectors where you can see it. Okay, now once we have this computer where we can see both connectors, the next step is to get a wiring diagram. We need to get the diagram so we can see which wires to tie in, which ones are the vehicle speed sensor at the computer. So now we move on to part 2.